Hello, it's Annabelle Beckwith here doing my little piece for the 7 Stories, 7 Lessons thread that has been going on. And this one is to do with creativity and innovation. Now, a few years ago, my teenage daughter was going to Tea in the Park, big pop festival here in Scotland, and it was 150 odd miles away from where I actually live. So off she went with her tent and all the bits and pieces. And I was keeping a keen eye on the weather forecast, which was pretty dismal actually, typical for a Scottish summer. And I had a phone call from, all seemed to be going well. I thought, well, they've got there, they've set up their camp and what have you. And then on the second night, I had this slightly woebegone phone call from her saying, my tent has collapsed. I want to come home. And I thought, well, it's a 300-mile round trip. So, figure something out. So at that point, I asked her, well, is the tent completely destroyed? Has it caught fire? Does it no longer exist? No, we isolated what the issue actually is. And what it was is that it was one of those kind of one-man tents with these kind of prong things that stick into the ground. And there was something, that the little thing that it fitted into to make sure it fitted into the ground had disappeared. So half of her tent, the wall, I'm not explaining this well, I know, half of the tent wall was sticking up and water could get in. And, well, it just wasn't really functioning as a tent, basically. Now, when my daughter was little, my dad is brilliant at DIY, and whatever it is, my dad can fix it. And when my daughter was really tiny, she always used to refer to Grandpa as the brilliant fixer, in fact, the brilliantest fixer. And I'm quite good at bodging things together and fixing things. To my chagrin, I was only ever the second bestest fixer, the second brilliantest fixer. Grandpa was the brilliant fixer. So my daughter was still in a slightly kind of bit of a state, feeling a bit sorry for herself there, in the rain, tent all over the place, not enjoying the festival anymore. So I said to her, like, don't listen, look about, because you come from a long line of brilliant fixers. And what you need to do is, like, the thing that you need to find is something that will fix that spoke thing from the main body of the tent into the ground. So you need to find something that it will go into, and then you can put that thing in the ground. Look about. And here's the thing, don't look for what the thing is. Look for what that thing might potentially do with a bit of imagination. Oh, I'll call you back when I thought, well, okay, let's just see. And after about an hour or so, she did call back, and she said she had managed to fix it. I think she'd found an old can or something and had got this thing into the hole of the can, had buried the can in the ground and like wedged it in, and now that bit of her tent was reasonably secure. It certainly held for the rest of the festival. So here's another example of life lessons just hidden in plain sight. Here's a situation where there's a presenting problem. We tend to catastrophize. My tent has collapsed. If we hone in what is the specific thing here that will fix it at least and make it fit for purpose? Quite often the problem looks massive. When we break it up, it's like, oh, it's that thing, it's that bit there. If we fix that, then we've arrived at a resolution. So that's the first thing, is not to catastrophize, to analyse and think, what's the thing that needs fixing? The second thing is to refer back to, when have we done this before? What's the precedent for this? Creative thinking. And the third thing is to be resourceful. Don't look at what the thing is, look at what it can do. And that as a mindset is a really important one in the workplace when we come to creativity and innovation. Not just looking at the situation and what it is from our own blinkered understanding and our current view, but thinking really laterally about what's the potential here, what's the possibility, what's the potential solution here, where is the innovation?